to, and I want to introduce, I want to first give thanks for greater praise to Community Development Corporation. This is where we are. Some of y'all may know about the Joseph Project. The Joseph Project is a jobs program that U.S. Senator Ron Johnson, myself, and also Pastor Jerome Smith, who's on the wall right there, he passed about 3 years ago. We created this thing to help people find employment in the city of Milwaukee. And they're doing good paying jobs. We did this for about 9 years old now. And so this is part of the vision he had to change Center Street. The church is right across the street. On this level here is retail space. Upstairs is apartments. The vision was for young men transitioning and women from being formerly incarcerated. One of the issues that came up was housing. Housing was a big issue, so his vision was to rent out those spots upstairs and let those gentlemen start getting back on their feet again. He had a vision to kind of transform Center Street. The rest of the piece, my friend, I know we'll see him again one day. And part of it was they also bought this building to this is the Community Development Corporation. Tonight's discussion, I want to just lay out some rules. Everybody rules is just really about conduct. This is an informational situation. One of the co-organizers of this event, he's on his way, he's running with an eye. You already know Sylvester Jackson. He is a good man. He's part of the formerly
Concert Food Organizer, Expo, and he had legal change. I'm one of the people that sit that's the Expo upon these time because one, two, three, six, city. So a lot of groundwork to where we get now. We pray together, we dialogue together there. And you see by the person that you know and connect with someone from probably Expo, this organization is out here that's already doing what you want to do versus recreate something that not recreate or reinvent the wheel. How about connect with the power and then move from there. So I sent him to Expo. He became a leader at Expo. I need to lead his own organization.
and he'll be here soon. So he was doing another event with another church. He's running behind. I saw Sylvester a few years ago, met him. So part of what we do at the Joseph Project, we have a lot of formerly incarcerated individuals who are coming from a lot of situations, drug rehab as well. Really, the program is open to anybody who wants to work. And so I met Sylvester a few years ago. And so recently, there was another kind of forum that was happening on the north side of Milwaukee. It was primarily from the Democratic political perspective. And I already told you guys my 9-to-5 job. I work on I work for U.S. Senator Ron Johnson. So Senator Johnson is in his third term as senator in the great state of Wisconsin. I've been working with him now for 2 years. Formerly, the state director of African American engagement from the Republican Party in Wisconsin. I'm currently the chairman of the North Side. I've been there. I've been a Republican, actively in the party for about 25 years now. I'm a historical black college grad myself. God is working on me every day, but I am a minister in the Church of God in Christ. It's one of the biggest black denominations in the world. But I'm far from perfect. Ran for office 2 times, but met this gentleman also in that circle as well too, going to different community meetings in my job. And Brother Servant has been someone that I was seeing passing. And we kind of connected on this initiative. With that being said, the conversation is really going to be open for anybody to ask questions. The theme of today was Agenda 47, which is President Trump's agenda versus Project 2025, which is also an agenda that's from the Heritage Foundation. And I wanted us to have this conversation about what it is and what it isn't. Sylvester was at this function that was more Democratic leaning a few weeks ago. And he asked me, I came to listen. And while I was there, especially, man, I'm not trying to tell nobody how to vote for Orlando. You're a Republican. You should do one of these. Like the Republican point of view, why is that not happening? I said, well, Sylvester, let's plan it. He said, okay. And then he asked, well, let's start bringing some Republican representatives. And a few of them showed up. A few candidates who were running also showed up. And so Sylvester was kind of the brain for us to get this thing started. Say, we need to hear both sides of the We need to be informed as a people before we make our decision on who we want to vote for. And with that being said, I want to introduce a couple speakers and let them come up and kind of do their thing. And we're going to go ahead and go to the hour. But I want to have this space just to kind of address the audience. They stick around and can. I know they have campaign skills, but they're in the middle of their campaigns. And with that being said, we need to bring up first a gentleman I've been knowing for a while. Senator Dan Canola is also running for an office as well. So Dan, come on up and address
Every double over, at least how I refer to him as double O, and I had crossed paths quite a while ago. And I was in the state assembly for 15 years, now in the state senate, but however running back for the state assembly. So I'm kind of free agent in this political world. But I, just as some background, my grandfather and my parents started out on 8th and Burleigh here in Milwaukee. My grandfather owned a bakery, a little bakery, and he supplied the child with a firehouse and stuff like that. So at that time, we're going back to 1960, let's say I-43, the highway came through, and they lost their home and their business to the government, eminent domain. So the government came in and they had to give you some compensation what your business or your property what might be worth. So that really started, and that's sent my mom and dad out to Menominee Falls, which was just kind of farmland at the time. And then my grandfather, grandmother went out to Commonwealth area, retired. He opened up a little bakery there too. So that is my background here. Started here in Milwaukee, 1961. Went to Menominee Falls, I was 3, but that's where I grew up, in Menominee Falls public schools in Menominee Falls, and currently live in Germantown. So I didn't get too far away from home or my roots. So my dad, I'm from a family of 8 kids. My mom and dad, my dad is the middleman. He's a union guy. He voted Democrat. Just followed the union plan. He voted Democrat, I think maybe till I ran for office. And I got the first Republican that he voted for. But we had some battles, but not anything offensive still. But the work ethic that he and my mother had is what I'm all about. My dad he worked 3 jobs. He would go deliver the mail out of the Hampton station here in Milwaukee. Then he would come back to Menominee Falls. He'd drive a school bus after school and come home for dinner. And then he would go up to the high school and push the broom, and he was a custodian. And that's what he had to do to provide for 8 kids. And my mom worked harder. She had to take care of the house and 8 kids. Think about the logistics to raise a family that big. So that is where I come from, and we started working. We still had papers. I had a paper out at 12, and my dad would even get up earlier if it was bad weather and run me through the paper out before even to deliver the mail. So, but things have changed. I think the parties have changed over the years. We have a lot of people there. John F. Kennedy, Democrats, and John F. Kennedy was with us today. Really be a Republican, and things have changed. So who represents who, I think has changed, and you got to make those decisions on who's representing your best interests. So my concerns here, and particularly in Milwaukee, to just be honest with you, I don't think your local representatives at the state level, which is your state assembly people and your state senators, are doing a good job for you. And number one here is the education system. And I just brought a paper here that just a couple statistics. This was for MPS. I talk about MPS the crowd you had at MPS is in the administration. Anybody here employed by MPS? Really in the administration, you know, how it's run. So your teachers in the classrooms are doing all they can, and they have great appreciation for the teachers, but the administrators are just not running the system very well. And the money is not getting to the classroom. It disappears to who knows where. They don't even know where, because they can't give us a financial. No. So it's just terrible. But something that jumped out from me, this was last year, or the year before, I believe, nearly 1,000 students in MPS did not attend a single day of school. Not one day. 1,000 kids are out there and never got to school. And then much of a chance if you don't get to school and get some basic education. And so that's the key, is to look at MPS. All kids can learn. They just got to be in the right environment. Hopefully a safe and secure environment where they'll be engaged with the teacher, and they will learn. All kids can learn. So it's really that environment. MPS had the lowest student outcomes in the nation, and not a single student tested proficient in math in 9 of the Milwaukee schools. So I'd like to hear from you. How do we address this situation with MPS? I'm a fan of the choice in the voucher program, because then the parent decides where that student will go, and it gives them just that, a choice to the parents. And overall, the choice the voucher schools have done as well or better than MPS, and they all have waiting lists to get in. So MPS really, to me, would be to just resolve it and start over. And again, I'm talking about the administration, and give those students the opportunity to go to whatever school, fill out the choice in charter schools to their capacity, and then create a new school district with more leadership in place, and go from there. So, but you won't see a Milwaukee legislator bring that forward. They just ignore it. I just do. And so here you have me, a couple others from the suburbs. We care about these kids. We need these kids to be productive adults. It all starts here at the local school. That's what it is. And to be productive adults is important. Reading, writing, and math, just basic stuff. You gotta have. And there's employers just waiting, just begging to get people in that pipeline, but they gotta have at least some basic understandings of things, and then some of the soft skills about showing up for work and being on time and things like that. So that's specific to MPS. That's something that I'm focusing on. So, we talk about it at national with Trump and the different agendas. Happy to talk about that, but I focus on state issues because I'm state legislator. So I'll stop there.
Yeah. First of all, like most of the people in the MPS, they probably Democrats. So they probably white Democrats.
Yeah.
Next of all, you talk about the 1,000 kids that didn't show up, but what's the reason they didn't show up? You know what I'm saying? And in Milwaukee, we got like systemic problems, like the housing, the job and stuff like that. So if you're not coming from like that, like stability or something like that, then you might not show up for school. But for somebody just to come and say, well, the only issue they didn't show up and just forget, we need to replace all the administrators in MPS, it's like a little bit. What about the rest of the problem in Milwaukee? I'm saying that people are talking about, jobs and et cetera. Another thing I want to talk about is that, like, I don't know what y'all call it, but the taxes from Milwaukee and other places go to Madison, and then Madison tell or allocate how much money goes to here and how much money goes to there. I'm saying, I would think it'd be better for Milwaukee if we could keep some of our taxes right here, since we pay them, and instead of sending it everywhere. You know what I'm saying, to suburbs, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. There ain't no- And everything else is there about Milwaukee.
Let me jump in here right quick, because I also want to make sure that we get this brother, they gotta get back on the campaign for him. So I want to make sure we get him up, then you take a seat from him, you let's run away from him.
Yeah.
I want you
And,
to,
and I'd be
come back
happy,
in question,
you know, to discuss that.
how we do revenue sharing.
Definitely, engage that.
It's not like revenue sharing.
For sure.
So with that being said, I'm gonna let brother, while he's here, let me go ahead and introduce, well, we actually want to create the idea, but Sylvester, you want to introduce yourself? We had a brief one, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, apology, we've been in the community today, handing out clothes and food, we went a little longer than we expected. My name is Sylvester Jackson, I'm, co-founder of League for Change, a nonprofit organization that works around reentry and youth empowerment. And one of the things that I brought to the GOP regarding events like this is, as a community, we need to hear the facts from both sides of the aisle. It's not enough to assume what something means that we can actually come together and discuss. And so I brought it to Brother Orlando, Senator Rushing, and a couple other individuals, because when we're in these situations, you know, like there's a lot on the line coming up in November. And I don't believe in kind of tell nobody who to vote for, but I think everybody who's going to vote has the right to understand what both parties represent. And so I think this is the best way, because like I said, I didn't understand much or nothing about that 2025 thing, but it kind of sounds terrifying. So one of the things I want to know is get the insight. So who do I go to, the Democrats, or do I come to the Republicans, who are, whether they for or not, to hear from them and study on TV, on the news and stuff. So that's why I suggested, so we as a community be informed on both parties of the issues.
And that's something we're gonna start. So the idea was Sylvester's idea, I just co-signed. So with that being said, we're gonna come back and go, we are gonna ask questions as well too, about, sound like revenue sharing sounds like. But I also want to give the gentleman too, because he's running. I also want to acknowledge Reneva Knapp. She's in the back of the room. She is part of the Milwaukee County. She's part of the Milwaukee County Board. So, on the GOP board. So when I told you that I was a chair in Milwaukee North Side, Milwaukee County is the only county that divides its county party into smaller segments. Every other county in the state of Wisconsin is only one state party. They have a chairman, only one county party. They have a chairman and their board of executive members. Here in Milwaukee, we break ours up into smaller pieces. So Reneva sits on the board of the entire county. I sit on the board as well, because each chairman, so Milwaukee County has Milwaukee North Side, Southwest South Suburban, South Side, West Allis, Wauwatosa, and North Shore. And so Milwaukee is the biggest populated black people and Hispanics right here. So I'm the chairman from anywhere from the highway all the way to the edge of Brown Deer, Milwaukee to Brown Deer. And so we got the most diversity. So she sits on that board as well. She's also a former candidate as run. So me and her are part of that board. My other sponsor tonight also did not make it, but she's part of the Frederick Douglass Foundation. They are more of a this issue-driven organization. They don't push one over the other. Her name is Cindy Warner. She couldn't make it tonight. Her grandbaby was sick. She also sits on that board. She's the second vice chair of that board, but also a member of the Milwaukee North Side. Milwaukee North Side has the most diverse board. So it's me, I'm the black man, we got a black woman, we got a Jewish guy, we got a lot of women on our board, so we're very diverse on our board on the North Side. Our county board is pretty diverse too, but I take a certain level of honor to be so diverse on our board. With that being said, it's a new young man who's new to me. I met him at Juneteenth. For those who don't know, the Juneteenth celebration that happens, the prior chairman, named Sam Hagedorn, white guy, when I first joined the party, would go to Juneteenth. Republican booth has been at Juneteenth for the last almost 20 years, been at every celebration. I also brought out, I didn't bring Juneteenth to the north side of GOP. They were already doing it. What I brought to the table was Garfield Days. So we started doing Garfield Days for about 10 years now. So we've been here in the community, part of the community.
Can the people that supposed to talk to us talk?
We can.
Because we already know what Juneteenth.
Hold on, we're not.
And the people you said that ain't here, they don't need to be talking about
I
this.
got you, my friend. This is how we're gonna do it. We're setting the foundation.
Yeah, but the
We're setting, hold on, we're setting the foundation, my friend. We're setting the foundation here so we understand what's going on. So we have been here in the community as far as the public, is what I'm trying to get to. We've been here for a long time. With that being said, how we set it up, I met a gentleman at Juneteenth. His name is Kevin Henderson. He's running for state rep here on the north side of Milwaukee. Kevin, can you come on up? Let's give him a hand.
Hello everyone, thank you for showing up. Again, my name is Kevin Anderson. I'm running for State Assembly, 18th District. Where that covers is Ravenwood Circle, going west in Tulsa. Going north, 42nd, down to 42nd area. Going east, 20th and Kilbourne, which is Marquette College. And then going south, which is around 32nd and Clydeborn, which is around Marquette High School. So I went to graduate from East King High School. I got my bachelor's degree in exercise science from Concordia University. At the moment, I'm a school teacher. I teach 5 years in social studies. And the reason why I got in the race is because it was time for people's voices to be heard. As y'all know, the north side, we get the bad end of the stick, but Milwaukee County, like I said, we pay out the most taxes, but we're not seeing the money. And my whole purpose of getting in office is to really give the north side to just do and let the people's voices being heard and really build up the strength of our homes and lead something for our children. If I don't do anything else, I want to raise the vibration in our community, hold people accountable, be transparent, and lead some tangible for people. If I don't do anything else, I want to raise the vibration because there's no reason why we have to live like this. So, thank you.
Thank you.
So, go ahead, Sylvester.
What party are you running on?
I'm underneath the Republican banner.
Okay.
And the whole purpose, and the reason why I'm doing that, one of the reasons is because they're the majority in Madison. So when it's time for me to get bills passed and get monies allocated to right places, I shouldn't have much pushback because I'm working with the majority. Also, too, when this corporation was created, the agreement was to run it as a republic. And what that means is that the American citizens, you tell the politicians how you want the estate to be ran, not the other way around. So when we say we want a democracy, what we're doing is we're leaving our estate in somebody else's hands. There's no backing in that. So when we have a republic, that means that we're telling them how we want the house to be ran, not the other way around. Because at this point, what we got is taxation without representation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we have a few candidates, and I came in on some questions being asked. So I'm going to allow them to have some questions and dialogue, and I do want to let this gentleman get back on the campaign trail. If they want to stay, by all means, we're going to shift a little bit and go through the actual theme of tonight, which is the two different agendas. We're going to get to that. So if you guys want to take a few questions, I cut off maybe after 2 questions, so then you guys can decide if you want to stay or hit the campaign trail. So they're on the campaign trail running. So this is really important time for them. So we have, I think we started off with revenue. We were talking about shared revenue. Sound like money's leaving Milwaukee, going to Madison. Dan, you want to talk about how it kind of works?
Yeah, well, we have 2 different funding streams for the schools that go per student. MPS is getting much more per student than any other school district in the state of Wisconsin. And most of that comes from the state, where in the other school districts where they have higher value properties, the locals pay more to fund their school district based on their property values. So that's how the school district money goes. And shared revenue is the other, and there we made some changes so that there would be more monies available to the locals. And that was very significant for Milwaukee. The mayor was on board, the county executive was on board. And these are things that Governor Eubanks has signed into law. So you have, as Kevin mentioned, you got to get through the majority of houses first. So to get anything accomplished, we've got to have the governor's signature. So this shared revenue is a big package. That will help Milwaukee, the automatic increases that come every year. And it gives the locals a little more control over what they want to do. In this case, there was a bump in the sales taxes, the county and the city level. So that's, and the funding will always argue over the funding. I mean, it doesn't matter who's in office, everybody's out to want to steers the most dollars back into their districts as they can. But that's the budget process. It's a long process, but it is the negotiated process. So it's pretty good. And you have to have buy-in from all the people that are in voting and the governor's signature, or it doesn't happen. So it was one area that we, I think we worked pretty well together on that. And school funding was significant. It was $1 billion extra to schools. And the choice schools got a bump, but all the public schools got more per student as well. Now, we can't govern parenting and home life or things like that. You wouldn't want us to, I don't think. But that environment where the students come from is really on anybody in your family, in your household, in your local community. So I would have other ideas for education too, that we have some other schools available to the students, including boarding schools, where the students, if they don't have a secure, safe, and secure environment at home, they could actually go to a school that they could stay at. They would have quarters, sleeping quarters, and meal plans, so boarding school, which is what a lot of the richest of the rich people send their kids to boarding schools. But they have that opportunity to do that, but that's not here. Now I'll finish with a project, whatever it is, 2025. And that's really put out by a think tank organization, which is a whole bunch of them, and they all put out their own agendas for what they feel would be policies that should be put in place. This Heritage Foundation is definitely a right-leaning organization, but that's what they put out. So Trump didn't put into it, or is he using it? He does have his platform is Project 47 or Platform 47, which we just looked up. And I would think there you will see a good number of initiatives that make sense for you here and for around the state of Wisconsin. So I'm in favor of that. The 2025 thing, I didn't look at, and it's not in play. It's just not in play. So all these things, there's always groups that come to Madison or go out to DC lobbying for their particular interests. So that's stuff that we have to wade through and figure it out. So that's where you come in. I come out to the Capitol, like we we're talking about education. We have meetings and hearings. The public is very important. So the person shows up from the neighborhood or from the district, from our districts. That's the most powerful testimony or person that's talking that day. We're going to listen to them. They're going to have more effect because they know how it's going to hit them right at home than these paid lobbyists and things like that. They're going to be there for sure. But that's just key. And other than that, we need you here. I came here tonight. There's nobody here that I'm going to be on your ballot. But I need to hear your concerns. And as Kevin mentioned, we are to be your voice in Madison. That's the Republic, the representative Republic. So I'll stop.
So I got a question, right? Is a direct, and I'm not to speak for a lot of other direct impact individuals, right? So it seems like that when you're a direct impact individual, right? It's specifically in this country and in this state of Wisconsin, right? You are not treated like a human, if that makes sense, right? You treated like you don't belong. However, it's the people coming to talk to us, especially what's paying this office into a vision, it's not the system of the law, right? It's paying taxes and contributing to the advantage of this country. Yet not being respect yourself. If that makes sense to you. Like, it's like you said earlier about taxation government in Texas. So you mean it's okay for me to pay taxes, you can take taxes out of my, take money out of the funds I earn, right? Yeah, it's not okay for me to vote or be involved in the election, right? And I think that it shouldn't matter if a person is on paper or off paper, because when you do the research on voting rights, it don't say nowhere in there that if you commit a crime and become a felon, that your rights will be taken. That's something that took place that established in the 13th Amendment. That ain't got nothing to do with the people that fought for people to earn their right to vote. So my question is, why is Wisconsin, operating above the law? But the other place that I go to myself personally is clear that I go to voting, I go from Chicago, Illinois, on paper off. In Wisconsin, the only way I was able to vote was when I got out paper 2 years ago. So I did vote in that election that, what's the guy name? That Barnes was involved in. So I did, it was my first time being able to vote since 2001. I had lost my privilege, my rights to vote in 2001, right? And then gained back in 2022. So I'm just wondering, why is it that it's okay to tax us, right, but not respect us as humans first and foremost in Wisconsin and in this country?
Well, I can speak on that. First of all, I'd like to say, the African Americans, the people that go by black, we have been removed from the human family. So what happens is when you catch a felony, you become human chattel and human cattle, which means you're state property. So when you sign certain documents, you give certain property the right over your life, the room, your household, etc., are alcohol. So when you take certain federal funding government, you make them in your household. So just a heads up, when you take certain monies. Also, too, to add on to what you're saying, and the line what you're saying, when you create policy, it must be in harmony with the Constitution. What happens here in Wisconsin is that when we practice law, the Constitution is not being enforced. They're practicing policy that's harming people. And pretty much they're taking our rights, turning them into privileges, and attaching a fee to them, which is unconstitutional. So, so I'm not really liking what you're saying. Yes, sir.
Well, even you two will both be, in, favor of like, for the federal government, they had man in the box, where you had to check if you're, a felon or something like that, just for the state of Wisconsin, like when we get a job, because, and not only for a job, for housing, because you get a job in Wisconsin, but if you check that box, they just go your, housing, they just go your application, is gone, so keep on letting you pay that $25, $35, $50, and, and they, after the background check, it's over with. So, one thing, if either, or both, or all, y'all could support that, they do a whole lot for ex-felons, especially males. Because when we come home, because we can't find housing or help somewhere on the well or something like that, where they keep all of us at, we have to deal with them. You know what I'm saying? And if we raise our voice there, then they sending us back. You know what I'm saying? You can't be the head of your household when your name ain't on the lease. You know what I'm saying? You only allocated so much power. You only allocated so much of being a man. So look, that's very harmful to us, black males in Milwaukee, trying to get housing. You know what I'm saying? Even though we might pay people in that house, but we ain't on the lease. So property can get took in, you know what I'm saying? We can be homeless. Right. And I've been there. It happened to me. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, we got people to right. He's working on that. That's one of his agendas is for fellas to get back to vote. So yeah.
Not just vote. I'm talking about not having to check their box.
Absolutely, that as well. Yes, sir. Absolutely. What happens is, at that point, you're violating your human rights. What happens is we argue civil when we should be arguing human rights. So I'm 100% with you. So so your rights they should not be violated and taken away from. Yes, sir.
Okay, my question is, I missed a lot of that about the felon right to vote. So that's something we've been fighting for since I've been out of prison, which is in 17. And we've been getting the most resistance from the Republicans and the GOP regarding allowing the fellas that right to vote. And several times, we know that bill was offered and Republicans just let it die. And not even let it come before a committee, anything like that. And I'm curious to know why. When, you know, we're talking about, like you said, a real perfect, you say taxation without representation. That's what founded this America, the colonies and all of that, because Britain was taxing the colonies without forms of representation. So then, here we are in today's society, and the same thing is being applied, and it seems to be pushed and supported by the Republican Party. Why is that?
Well, you got the wrong people in the seats. I'll speak out against the party. You got the wrong people sitting on the seats. Again, we got people practicing policy that goes against the Constitution, and we really need to start exercising the Constitution. So, to answer your question, you got the wrong people in those seats, and that's why I'm here to
Is the people, most people talk
Well, I would say if you put a local Republican in an office, then you're gonna have that bigger voice there on the level, so then you can address those. Yeah, I think the question you got is being in the majority party is the only way to get things accomplished. There's many bipartisan bills, but you need that majority party.
When you say when you put a Republican in that office, what office you referring to?
the state assembly.
The state office, state assembly, state senate.
Yeah.
That's the level we're at.
For the last, I'd say, over 8 years, the Boston has been running, the majority. And I know when we started fighting, for unlock the vote when I was with the Expo, each time we get momentum built up, it get killed down by those who are elected from the Republican Party, and it's not even addressed and not allowed to go to any committee.
Well, that's why I'm running. I'm here to be your voice, because at this point, it's not even about party, it's about the people. People are hurt financially, mentally, spiritually, on all levels, and I'm here to be our voice. Because again, Milwaukee, we're not getting our just due, but we paying out the most. So I'm here to be your voice, and I hear everything what you said. But at this point, ain't about the party. People are hurt.
As far as the felon, I would be, when you commit a felony, you are giving up rights, the right to vote. It's just, that's part of, if you're gonna be convicted of a felony. Now, I would be looking at any type of pathway to get off of that paper or that to be able to vote. Expedite that, or when you just flat out are done with your time, if you're doing time, automatically you're able to vote again. But I don't know what the time lag is, or the process is with once you're done being incarcerated and paper and things like that. That's what we need to learn firsthand.
Well, the thing
I mean, there's felons of all races.
But just like right now, it's mostly the former incarcerated come to listen to you. It ain't the people that's strong, Democrat, you know what I'm saying, it's us, you know what I'm saying, that's in the hood, that's former incarcerated, we come and listen to you, a Republican. We give you a shot, but it's not like with you, for whatever reason it is, like you stick to the party line after y'all get off paper. You know what I'm saying? Why is it what?
You have to look at each individual legislator, you will not find my voting record to be 100%.
I would say,
Party line or leadership stuff, and that goes down to your individual legislator.
I would say
Generally, that is
part of what we're doing, if we want to see change in legislation, you must create a voting block to do so. The current probation laws are on the books. How do we change them, right? That's what you would say. Why can we change it? Where Expo had legislation put up. That legislation is probably in the minority. And that's not a move that Republicans at this time are looking at, reconsider. The balance between, I guess, justice, punishment, forgiveness is the one that is definitely heavy and hard to do. Trying to weigh out the victim, because we can never forget the victim, right? And also the punishment just for the who was the perpetrator. The justice system is one that's definitely imperfect, because as long as you got people, it will always be imperfect. I think you look at what Republicans have done on the federal level, Trump primarily.
Yeah, a lot of crimes is based
I get you that. I guess we can debate what speaking was right, but let's just get to the point of on the federal level, Trump did, the first step was the first major sentencing reform, because the justice system is broken: sentencing, punishment, incarceration, service rules, and really big subject, right? So we break down the pieces of it. His first step back was on sentencing on the federal level. I understand that most guys in the state of Wisconsin are on state paper, right? So how can state paper change? If there's no collaboration to create the voting need, it will not change. And this is one of the ideas that we had in creating this format, that if you get formerly incarcerated individuals on the same page to press an issue, because what they can't say, I can, maybe Kevin wants to say, but I'll say what I'm going to say after they leave, because I can be a lot more blunt and transparent. If you create a voting block, politics is about two things: money and power. That's all it is. You have the power, you control the money. That's what it is. Until you have the majority, you don't have the power to control the money. What we have the opportunity to do in this collaboration is create a voting block that will have power. So all the questions of why Republicans have not moved, I think they're open, but if you don't present to them in the right way, then they kind of miss the point. This is about creating voting power. And if you do that correctly, instead of asking or asking to change, you can make a change, because Republicans cannot win a statewide election or a national election without the roads coming through Milwaukee. In particular, nothing against the women, but black men. There's a voting block out there that Democrats most likely, and most time, don't really attract and don't really go after, and that is the black male vote. In particular, black men who are formerly incarcerated, who have their voting rights back. If you are able to bring this together, you have the ability to make change and effectively change on the state level. But if we get bogged down on why it's not done, then we can stuck on why it's not done. What I'm trying to do is this. We're going to get to, let these gentlemen go, because I know someone wants to talk about Project 25 and Agenda 47. That's what's one of the main things tonight was. If you're able to do this correctly, you can create a voting block that will affect the next change who will be the next governor of Wisconsin and Supreme Court justice. So this is a attempt to create some kind of voting block of ex-people who are incarcerated. So you can rise up and affect this election this time around in 2024. You can flex your muscle. You do that, then every player at the table politically will have to come listen. Right now, there's nobody flexing. If you don't flex, then you're just out there talking. But if you come together and organize, now you're talking business. Now you're talking about political capital. Right now, you're just talking in the wind.
You don't have a leg to stand.
Until you get organized and say, we're going to vote for Kevin, we're going to vote for Tim Rogers, and that vote is significant enough, because Democrats don't need your vote, black men. I'll be very transparent. They don't need your vote. They got the black women vote. So where's your voice be heard? Where's your voice going to be heard?
Well,
Only one party right now is here, and really look at it, can really value the vote. Dems don't need your black man vote. They got the black woman. In fact, they count on you not to show up at polls, because you'll go off the count if you do, especially if you go a different direction. This is strategy right now, gentlemen. If you choose to take this mission, is one that's waiting. If you choose to do this, we have a statewide Supreme Court race next year. You can pick the state Supreme Court. You can also pick who will be the next governor a year later. This is how powerful this movement is. If we are able to put away our bitter differences right now and come together and organize. Candidates, you have anything to address before I let you guys go so we can transition to the next point?
Again, I'm here for y'all. If y'all want to voice in Madison, if y'all want proper representation, if y'all want to see real change, vote for me November 5th. I'm your guy, so I'm here for y'all. Let me lose the Trump. I'm going out swinging, and I genuinely want to see change, because again, there's no reason why Milwaukee has to be like this. We are the worst place in the nation, worst place to live in the U.S. We have one of the highest incarceration rates. 53206 is the worst place to live in the U.S. We're number one. We're number one bad in everything, and it doesn't have to be like this. Milwaukee is a beautiful place. We're losing a lot of people to other states. Our retirees, we're losing our retirees to other states because they're being taxed out of existence. We're being taxed out of existence. It's time to start holding people accountable. So we don't want y'all boys hurt. Put me in office, and I'm gonna get it done.
Website.
KevinForState.com. Go there, you can look me up, you can donate as well. Again, Kevin for State, KevinForState.com.
Reach out to the campaigns if you want to know more about what they're talking about individually. Dan, you have anything you want, because I know you're moving to the assembly side again.
Yeah, but this is an open seat that Kevin's running for, so here you are, and at our level, often the party tag disappears. I won 4 years ago, Biden won my district, but so did I. So there you have people that were voting for Biden.
Let's go, Brandon.
But they voted for me, because they got to know me, and we're there in the neighborhood.
Sorry.
So that's why I'm here. I'm not gonna get any votes here, I'm not on your ballot. But you gotta hear your concerns. Milwaukee is a big deal. It's the biggest city in our state. It's the economic engine, and it's gotta be better. So we gotta hear from you when we're driving those policy discussions and the financial discussions, which happens already early next year.
Right, you said hold people accountable. Because I'm from Madison, actually, but we lived here for 2 years. It's night and day. You probably know that. Everything, night and day. But, over 19 million is gone from your school system. Nobody knows anything. Millions gone from your housing authority. Nobody knows anything. These people aren't held accountable. Cavalier, he wants to appoint people. If he doesn't get to appoint the board for the housing, he doesn't want nothing to do with it. So how do you get them, how do you hold their feet to the fire and be like, our kids need to have this money, and you know the numbers, they're not good. So where is the money? How do you get them to, do something about it? And if the people are taking the money, get them out. How do you do that?
Well, one of the things I like to do is create transparency. So what I like to do, so how you have the national debt on the side of the highway, one of my ideas I would like to incorporate is create an open bank account to where you show the transactions of the daily transactions. That way, that'll make the hands clean. And if they decide to get dirty, you took work where the money went.
There were differences in opinion, this governor will not sign that bill. Where all their checkbooks should be right.
And with that being said, that lets you know what you're doing right there.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a YouTuber. I do it for a blog.
Asking for.
It's all right.
But yeah, it's gonna come together. And it all goes to the full money. We're not gonna send more money to an agency that can't account for it.
Let's give them a hand, you guys.
thank you. Thank y'all for showing up.
All right, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Happy to come back.
How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'll call you later. So, the big thing I guess everybody wants to talk about is Project 2025 and the Agenda 47. So, the conversation, I'm gonna let you guys kind of talk to me on what you've heard about Project 2025. Nobody has ever heard about Project 2025?
I have heard, I've heard about it.
Okay.
Tell me, since you're gonna talk about it, what's the strong points in it there for you?
So Project 2025, it was created by an organization called the Heritage Foundation. Heritage Foundation is a conservative-leaning foundation think tank, full of policy ideas every year. Much like many other think tanks from the left or from the right, they have what's called policy papers. They say these ideas, we would like to see adopt or consider for each side of the aisle. In fact, they give it to both sides, quite honestly. Both sides of the aisle say, this is what we want to do. What do you say about at least looking at it? The Heritage Foundation put together this whole thing called Right 2025 because, or how it's made up of a bunch of smaller conservative leaning organizations. They compile all this thing together in one report. Was it 900 some pages? And they call it Agenda 20. So it's a number of smaller organizations that put their ideas on paper and say, hey, this is what we believe. In the opening statement of the document, in the opening summary of the document, it says we as conservatives all won't agree with what we see in this document. But here are some ideas. And so that's kind of the making of the idea. That's kind of how it all came together. I think this question was, what do I like about it? Is what he said. What was your question again, sir?
Strong points about it.
The strong points about it. I think there's several. One thing that I heard on the radio is the elimination of the Department of Education. So that's important because most states have something called the Department of Education on a local level. It's called Department of Education for us, DPI, Department of Public Instruction. Government often has duplications. What you see on the city level, you see the same department on a county level, you also see it on the federal level and the state level. So it's kind of duplications time to time, right? And that's important to understand that some of these things are just duplications. You don't need to have all these all the time. So eliminating the federal Department of Education does not put education as a whole in peril. You have a state Department of Education already. So does that make sense for someone who asked that question? Do me a favor. Hit that button. You can end that live. Yep. Because we're going to get down to the weeds and it's going to get long. I don't want to prolong the listening audience. So for me, I think that's a good thing. It shrinks the size of the government, right? And that size is important that it becomes more manageable as a government. It also costs you less money. So if you can eliminate government, it's better. So that's one part I like about it. Anybody else? You have a question or from the audience? Pop up your feed.
Well, it kind of piggybacks to the Republican and Democrat thing as far as, what I've heard when I first came in is jobs, but I haven't heard anyone say something about business. I'm a business owner myself.
Okay.
And, I believe, funding is key. Having money is key within the family and generation of wealth. But 9 times out of 10, sometimes it's even hard to function with business when you don't have it. You can have the skill, you can have the abilities, right? You can have the experience, but in America, you need funding, sure, for great marketing to get things done. And sometimes we're left behind the wayside, and I believe business is a way out of poverty.
Okay. So how do you get more resources? So I think we look at lending policies is always a concern. If you don't have this, that, and the other, then most traditional lending institutions won't do that. One of the things that President Trump brought up was called opportunity zones. It was a combination of public dollars and private dollars to try to increase investment in real estate, into businesses, into infrastructure. And you're gonna have to have a champion that can bring some private equity into it. Private equity is a little more, let's say, flexible than traditional banking. And so that to change banking policies, banks are pretty much a private institution. And so to change those policies, we need a little bit more. Private equity people are a lot more flexible with their money than their investments. And that's when you need more of a private infusion to be creative with their money. I remember when I was a loan officer, I used to help people get homes, and we used more lenders than banks. The lenders were a lot more, let's say, flexible with their money and what they would invest in versus a traditional bank. And we need more of that and more entrepreneurs who may not always have the credit score or all of the X, Y, and Z to get the initial difference cash. We need more traditional, non-traditional ideas to bring more money to the table. And that's the thing that Trump talked about in his first term. The opportunity zones to leverage that private equity money with some traditional money as well, but more leverage with the private industries that can be more flexible and look at your property, your idea, your business, a little bit more open, more like Shark Tank kind of environment. Like, let's do it. A bank probably wouldn't took it. What even gave you the rate, what gave you the numbers that you got in the Shark Tank. So that kind of risk taking, we need more of. The risk taking also plays a role in all money policies. When you start to tax unrealized gains, when you start to tax raise corporate tax, all that plays a role in how much my money can be flexible, how much I'm willing to do riskier investments. And so that's why policies are important as election comes up on who has the best money policies. I hope it helps. So again, what's going on outside?
They just talk, he talks to candidates.
Okay, so, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, do you think that there's a way that, like Trump, you know, when he did the PPP loans, right?
Sure.
Do you think another term with him could possibly bring that in as an option again?
I think you're going to see a lot difference in the lending policies and our money policies.
Right.
There's a much more different vibe to it. We need more flexible monies, you know, in the inner city, that people get who would take a shot and invest, right? But also, and I love entrepreneurs, don't get me wrong, they're the backbone of our economy. If you don't have a working class to buy your product or need your services, you still need to have great paying jobs. Jobs that pay people living wage, covering their expenses, so that I can have more disposable money to invest in your business, to buy your product. If the people are broke, I don't care what you sell, I can't buy it. That's what Trump did, had more money out here. You know, when you have more money out here, I'll be maybe a little PG here. More money out here, we get how you want to spend your money is good for everybody. You can go to like how you want to spend your own money. But everybody can benefit when you have a rising tide. If everybody's getting money, I can go to Potawatomi world. I can go to the Barber. I can go wherever I want to go. I can buy what I want to buy. If I want to do things that may not be as healthy. But again, it's your money. So the more money you have disposable money, the more I can spend. So you shouldn't have a working class people. And that will play a role in how lending plays out. You have the best idea, but the people around the world ain't market. That's a problem. If that's one of your main customer bases, the inner city of Milwaukee, what's the median income in the city? Can they afford to buy? Can they buy what I'm selling? That's going to be the question. You know, so that's what, even though I may be very loose in my lending, if you got no customers who ain't working, this is where loan comes into play. Now, what you're going to say about how do you say that City Johnson and their practices, you put more restrictions on save money, I would say. You put more restrictions on save money and having more idea of who's getting the money and where it's being spent. Share revenue, I would say this about what the elected officials, people running may not say. Milwaukee is the biggest generator of money in the state. Milwaukee also is the biggest spender and user of that said money.
Amen.
So it's two things you can do at the same time. It generates a lot of money, but it spends a whole lot of money too, so it kind of offsets. And so you say, well, I want to rise the money from Milwaukee, back to Milwaukee. I'm for, and most Republicans are always for less government, or government that's close to the people. Yes, I think more money to stay in the city of Milwaukee. But even when Milwaukee has its own budget right now, what is it going with? What Chevy has announced last week? Another tax increase because the money he got is not enough. Just announced last week. So Milwaukee doesn't have a money issue. Milwaukee has a spending issue. That's what the concern is, how they spend their money. That's the real problem. It's how they spend money. Not how they raise money, but how they spend it. And also, I'm very transparent. When you don't put in, the question is, why are you concerned what come out? Let me break that down. If you ain't working, you ain't paying into a loan. So let's get you working for you. Let's make you a taxpayer before you say how the tax money is being spent. Let's start there. Get you working. Because right now we're arguing like more money should come to Milwaukee. More money should come to Milwaukee. We should be generating more jobs for people. Because more programs don't help people get out of line. This is another, we need jobs in the city, not another program, not another whatever. We need more investment in our city, we need more jobs to keep these men working. If we're gonna talk about the formerly incarcerated, they need jobs. We can talk about punishment. Again, the idea that's coming together is quite simple, you all. We must create a voting bloc. The Democratic Party does not necessarily need your black vote, black men. Republicans need your vote. Now, what Dan couldn't say was this. You still alive?
I'm still alive.
Okay, I'll say it anyway.
Go say it anyway.
Republicans cannot win a statewide election, and I said this earlier, without coming to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
If I need you, I'm gonna be more open to you. I'm gonna be more open to negotiating what you want. Local reps and local seats, like a state representative or a state senator who don't live in this area, don't need your vote. And don't care about your vote. But what they do care about is the governor's seat. What they do care about is being who's the next attorney general. What they do care about who's the next president. Now they need your vote. See, as long as you run in your state reps area, Republican area, you don't need to walk this vote for what? I don't care, black people, you don't live in my district. So it's real personal, right? If you live in my district, I don't care. I don't care what you're doing in your district. You don't vote for me, nobody. Republicans have done a masterful job in this. Is he gone? Because he didn't come on back in here.
Trigger.
You can talk about Robin Voss and what Republicans have not brought to the table. But honestly, here's strategy. They don't need to walk this vote to pass anything. They don't need your vote. But what they do need, they need your help to get the governor seat. Now you play chess. Robin ain't coming because he needs your vote for him to become the assembly representative. Steve, you don't need your vote, but he needs your vote to win the governor seat. That's why the questions in the organization have to be geared toward statewide elections. You're not affecting any rep up north in Toma or in Eagle, Wisconsin. They don't care what you do. But they do care about, can we win the governor seat? Can we win the White House? And if the brothers come together, black men or formerly incarcerated men, no matter what color you are, and women, come together and create a voting like those who want to vote, you now create power. Y'all follow what I'm saying? You now create a voting block that is very powerful.
Say it's serious, see, and that's I'm glad you tell me on that. That's a huge issue. It's too many people that's directly impacted that's whining like females. You know, it's not whining. It's not. And I'm saying that as a person that's very impacted myself, I understand that. I've heard too many meetings about A, B, C, and D. I have not seen the action, right, to change the trajectory. It's like, okay, I'll give y'all an example of what I've been seeing as a very impacted person myself, right, in and out position on more than one time, right? So each time I came home and went back, because I was fighting myself to change, everybody should do a change. I came to the brothers, right, that was very impact, that was in a position, mind you, to help me get further ahead in my own life as a very impacted individual. I would have chose not to simply because I was a Brown, I was a Rubik, I was an access. I wasn't an outside individual. I wasn't a pup. I wasn't what they, I wasn't the one they could control. So because they couldn't control me, I was revolutionary, I was militant, I was saying about that, and they couldn't control me. It was like, okay, well, you can't control me, you can't puppet me, you won't play nice. You're not gonna give you the resources. You're not gonna connect you to the resources. Now, mind you, they had all the resources because guess who give you the resources? It was talking to them. So the one that could control them would give them the resources, and guess who the ones have to be? They have to be Democrats. Because Democrats don't have no issue with spending money, right, to get what they want. They have no issue with that. I don't see Republicans out here, spending money on like celebrities, bringing celebrities here, to bring people to come out to pop out to their events. You know what I'm saying? Giving you food, giving you liquor, giving you all the willing to give you all the tools that is required to self-destruct. However, they want to give you the tools to help you self-regulate. Now, like I said, y'all ain't going through the directly impact, come out, want to help our community. Now, you know I'm limited because you know directly impact, you know what, you don't have any challenge in how, you don't have challenge with it. For you know, career driven, you don't have so many challenges. Okay, then you resist it. You know, as a directly impact individual to help you rise out of this, why can't be part of your fit for you to have to rise out of this? Why can't you be an individual that's out with you? We collaborate, we collect, you know what I'm saying, in our agendas. I'm just still my individual self. You can't, you're not going to public, you're not going to, you know, you're not going to control me. However, I'm going to aid the city because they couldn't control me. They would not, and I'm telling you, I had to jump through all kinds of loopholes, hula hoops, you know what I'm saying, to finally get to where I'm at today without that. I had to go around, you know, those, and it hurt me because it's like, we all directly impact, we did time together, we broke bread together, we ate meals together, we did all this kind of stuff in the disco, we were on Texas, right? We was buddy, the best of buddies, get out here, they get out a little, little something, you know, whatever they do, comes down, whatever they give you, now you acting like now you act like we ain't ate together, we ain't broke bread together, we ain't cried together, we ain't laughed together, we ain't fellowship together, we ain't did none of these things that we did in the system together. I never. I'm still the same old me. I'm still the same old individual. I'm still the one that we used to talk about that. But we get on. You get what I'm saying? But then I get out here and I don't want to help you because I'm going to be a part of that today. I'm going to round, I'm going to be a part. Come on, man. So when I said all that to say this, there's ability in us, regular impacting individuals, to change the whole trajectory, right? To change the whole, to change how history could happen, right? As far as the office goes, as far as who's in the back goes, right? But guess what? Most of us are so comfortable with the scraps that's given to us, because it helps us live a little bit better than Joe spoke out here. You know what I'm saying? We got the clothes, we got the cars, we got the jewelry, we got the whip, we got the house, we got whatever. You know what I'm saying? And we can sit with that. But however, in spite of all that, then our community suffers. Our community suffers when we sit back. Like, man, they ain't it. My car, I got my joy, my jewelry. My household straight. So why should I care about having to do it? And that's what I'm seeing from a large amount of the victim impact that it has happened funding, has happened money, you know what I'm saying, from this crisis. They not, you know what I'm saying, helping the people that they can help with. Because believe me, just because somebody gives you some money, right? You don't mean they should be the public. They should be the control, you determine which direction you go and what you do. If anything, you should do what you should have mindset like that. With the little scraps I do get, I take it and help, and it makes your whole community straight. They on the other hand, they take it very seriously. So they say, definitely, they try my thing won't change because you docile, you sit at home with comfortability, and you know what the brother right here said is accurate. So yeah, you will come to the events and do all your talking, like you stomp down, you hardcore, you down for the community, but yeah, your actions ain't showing you down, because your actions showing contrary, because like I said, I'm a regular impact. So I came to you and for help, and you regular impact too, I don't care who that money from. If you can help me get some income, so I can help my people in my area, guess what? It gets bigger and bigger. Now we able to help more people of our people, right? Not just regular impact of our people in our community as a whole, because we operate as a regular impact individuals, union, not in greed, man. Greed. That's the issue, greed.
Well, I want to,
It's greed, man.
we're 10 minutes to 7. I don't want to delay the night, but we start 7 night. I would hope to be asking more questions about Friday 2025. But here are some things about Agenda 47 that Trump is actually running on. That has a secure border, to stop the influx of illegal immigration, carry out the largest deportation in history, end inflation, more affordable, make America the dominant energy producer in the world, stop outsourcing jobs, cut taxes for workers, tax on tips, and also you heard no tax on overtime. In our Constitution,
Yeah.
our Bill of Rights, and our fundamental freedoms prevent the Third World War. You just saw in Ukraine, in the White House this week, asking for more money,
They got it.
and they got it. So, I wanna say this to you all, thank you for coming out, you may have another event, take it, left, you got anything, take all, and, again, thank you, we're gonna thank you for Mo for coming out on the platform.
Trump 2024.
Our caterer, you got her, Ms. Gray is a great caterer, she is like raised in the price, she did.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
You know, thank you for coming out, just thank
Thank
you for
y'all.
hanging in there for us. Brother Bob, we'll one-on-one with you, give you a second after you sit down, do like 2 minutes, one-on-one. Thank you all, you good?
I'm good, bro.
All right. You're good.
Peace
Where's,
out. Next.
Oh, my name is Chief Slow Priest.